Hey everybody, welcome to episode 9. This week we're going to talk about Spider-Man, Kraven's Last Hunt. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at 2idiotsrc. And also you can find our podcast on anywhere you listen to podcasts at 2 Idiots Reading Comics, and also on YouTube at 2 Idiots Reading Comics. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, click the like, whatever you do. Let's get this rolling.
Well, welcome to the show, Davis.
Let's go.
Episode 9.
Yeah, made it to episode 9.
Can't believe we're still doing this, but
Beat the average.
yeah, and obviously we're making upgrades.
Yeah, we got some nice new stuff. Not a sponsor, but
Yeah.
hey, we're getting there.
Y'all can't see, but you're on a brand new fucking tripod.
Yeah, makes it a lot better than the 2-foot table, whatever we were using. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, man. We have a handful of listeners. So
yeah.
that's pretty cool. Now, what I need you to do though is we have a handful of listeners to the podcast, but we need you to go to either our Twitter or Instagram. So follow us there because that's how we announce what we're going to be reading.
Yeah. And you can see some funny tweets. We try to get into the world of other comics related stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I try to make some dumb jokes. You know. What? Oh, fuck. To edit that out. Hopefully it's not going the entire show. I just had a fan going.
Yeah.
We are in this hot ass garage.
Yeah.
But
the fan may have to come back on.
What was I saying? Yeah, follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
This is supposed to be a book club. We hope y'all are reading along with us. Yeah. And that's where we announce what we're gonna read ahead of time. And then our YouTube not doing great, I'll be honest. Yeah. I finally learned how to use a hashtag this week. And so we had a little bit of a tick up, but
not much. But still.
If we can get the people who listen to our podcast to subscribe to our YouTube and then follow our Twitter, we'll have a better gauge of our community and stuff like that.
Now, like on the YouTube, we know we don't have visuals. Like we're not like actively putting stuff up, but
I just figured out how to put stuff in like right here. I'm going to put in a like, subscribe, notification bell little animation. I just figured out how to do that. And hopefully by now I've started a weekly show that either come out on like Thursdays or Fridays called Things I Read This Week. So yeah, hopefully that's going well. And then I think you had an idea for something you want to do?
I have an idea that I'm wanting to do. It's going to take some time.
Yeah.
So like we've talked about before,
You travel a lot.
I travel a lot for one. And I have a shit ton of Del Rey books, Star Wars related. And I'm wanting to try to take this book club and tie it to like a real book club.
Hey, comic books are real books.
Man.
Star Wars novels,
sorry. Either way, so I'm wanting to try to do that to kind of bring some more content to the platform. And Tom just got his little side project. This will be my side project. So hopefully y'all like it. Hopefully here in the next month or so, I can let y'all know what we're going to start with or where we're going to go with it. So,
dang, not early?
Maybe. Well, maybe. Yeah, I've got a long ass ride to Arizona, so it's gonna be a lot of boring shit to happen.
You gonna film in the car?
If I have to.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, now that all of that is out of the way, I guess we can get into the episode.
Yeah.
So let's just credit people first.
Yeah. Writer is J.M. DeMatteis. Matthews?
Yep,
okay.
Sure.
Penciler Mike Zeck. Inker Bob McLeod. Colorist Mike Zeck and Ian Tetrault.
Yeah.
Letterer Rick Parker, editor Jim Salicrup, cover art Mike Zeke, cover
Zach.
colors Zach,
Yeah.
cover colors Richard Isanov, and select color reconstructions Michael Keller.
Yeah.
Keller.
Yeah. And then I had there was a bunch of other people down there because this is technically a collection.
Yeah.
So,
If you've got some more, go ahead.
no, I just put a bunch of other people that just worked on
Okay, like
the
on
actual
the individuals.
putting together of the
Okay,
collected
yeah.
version.
Because I'm going.
We would be here all day if we had to do
it
those.
Because I'm going with a select color reconstruction.
Yeah.
Because that was this issue. These
These came
this
out
series.
in like '87.
Yeah. So compared to then and now, the colors have changed, vibrant, and a little bit
Right. If you're
sharper.
reading, we're reading we read off of. I read off the Marvel app. I don't know.
I did Comixology.
Comixology. So they reconstructed it for probably the visuals of that.
Yeah.
But this was one we were looking forward to for a while.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it.
We had always
a
heard
lot.
it was Kraven's best story, and this is honestly the first thing of Kraven I've read.
Yeah.
So we read his last story first.
Yeah.
Probably not a
Did
great
little
idea.
backwards. Because
there's obviously a history we didn't know about.
Little bit of some backstory. Probably not the best one to start with, but
Yeah.
definitely
'Cause
we
I
can
always-
go backwards then.
When people talked about it, I always thought it was like the most dangerous game, which is what I went into expecting.
Yeah,
There was only like 2 pages of that. If that.
Yeah.
Still good though. I don't know how I always said like I want Kraven's Last Hunt to be a movie. I don't know how you could do that without.
There'd have to be some.
It'd have to be like it would have to be like a whole.
Yeah.
If they did it as like a season of like a Disney Plus show.
Now that could work.
That could
right.
work.
Where you bring in, I guess, the backstory to this issue, and then now
Yeah, like you have
this fight that comes.
What
out.
was Mandalorian? Was it only 8 episodes?
Only 8 episodes, and season 2 is coming out in 2 months.
Oh yeah.
Actually, when this is being aired,
probably
it will
close
actually
now.
be a month out.
Little break in the fourth wall. It's technically August 4th right now, or 14th.
Actually, 14th.
Yeah. But yeah. What was I about to say? If they did like a full 13 episode, like a Netflix. Well, actually, I trust the people at Disney. They can probably.
Disney owns the rights. Well, Sony owns the rights and then licenses it out to Disney.
Does Sony have a streaming platform?
No.
Are they even working on one?
No.
Oh.
All they're caring about is gaming and TVs and computers and shit, I guess. The electronic world.
PlayStation 5.
Dude, it looks so nice.
I'm on an email list for when you can start to pre-order that.
They're saying the Xbox is supposed to come out in November, early November now. So I'm
Yeah.
sure PlayStation will announce theirs shortly.
If they would quit playing chicken about that price, I can start saving for it.
That's going to be the scariest part of it is how much that price is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
But again, they're introducing a new Spider-Man.
game.
They're doing Miles Morales this time, and
I wonder if that's going to be a full $60.
Probably. They've been wish-washing whether it's an expansion or if it's new. And
I mean, it's obviously built off the old engine.
Well, right.
But I mean, that was a good engine.
Right.
But anyways, back to this. Yeah, so I completely blanked, but
talking about how if you could see it being as a TV show,
yeah,
it could.
this would you could like introduce them in the first few episodes, just slowly have that like the most dangerous game part, and then you could set up the Vermin character like midway through the season.
Because I feel like Vermin, we probably should have needed to know a little bit more about him. No, he wasn't like a major character, but
they explained it well enough to where like
you could.
It was a Baron Zemo, which I thought
true.
was a cool little add-in. He was a Baron Zemo experiment.
Because Zemo's starting to show back up now in our time, and they're saying he's going to do a lot of work here shortly.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in the. He's going to be the main villain for Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Which got delayed again. So
yeah,
who knows when it's coming out?
Apparently, they have to go to like in production on like all those shows. They still have.
Thought Falcon and Winter Soldier was done. All it was waiting on was just
everything has like reshoots. But I don't know. But
COVID's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, that's how I would probably do Kraven's Last Hunt because
Yeah.
other than like Loki and obviously Thanos, you didn't see like a whole lot of repeat villains in the MCU. But
No.
I guess that's up to Sony.
Yeah. But
But yeah, getting into this story, and this is the first comic book I've ever read with the Comics Code Authority
yeah,
stamp
and
on it.
we talked about that 2 podcasts ago or so.
Somewhere around
Red
there.
Hood. We talked about it in Red Hood because
Yeah.
we were talking about how violent Red Hood was, and there was
Oh
literally
yeah,
an
because we were
issue
talking
with
about
him
Roy Harper.
shooting heroin
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the cover.
Yeah.
Roy Harper, not Red Hood. But yeah, and I guess it fell under the comic code when I can see that because it was tame.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, yeah, there was fighting, but there was no blood. There was
Oh
no
no.
arm dismemberments
Mm.
or cocaine abuse
A
or
lot
shit
of
like
Kraven
that.
walking around naked.
There was a lot of naked.
Yeah.
I mean, hidden naked, but
Yeah.
naked.
Mm.
It was,
But
and this is the oldest comic I've ever read.
really?
Yeah, that I know of.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting getting to see the
Mm-hmm.
way they drew them. That, of course, we grew up in the 2000s where it
Mhm.
was very sharp, very
Yeah.
cut jaw lines, or very muscular, and this
Mhm.
was a little more.
You hadn't had Todd McFarlane come in and
Yeah.
change it all up
right.
and stuff like that.
So
Especially Spider-Man. Because that's how they used to draw his webs. Like Marvel had a
just
certain
like-
way you had to draw his
Right.
web, and Todd McFarlane was just like, "No,
No.
we're not doing that."
now that's something I want to talk about. He's Spider-Man. He is known for his webs.
Mhm.
They only use his webs like a handful of times. Very rare. I mean,
Well, I mean,
like during his fight
he was
scenes,
technically dead. For
Well, I know for a majority of the
Yeah.
comic, but when he was there,
Mhm.
like when he was fighting Kraven, he was lifting the elephant with his, or the stuffed elephant with his hands.
Yeah.
He only shot his webs to pull the torch from Vermin. He shot his webs to finally hold Vermin.
Yeah.
That was it.
I don't know. Maybe it was just
Like-
the writer at the time. I don't know.
Man, like to me, Spider-Man's iconic thing is the
His
use of
webbing
his
up
webs.
everybody.
Is using.
Yeah. He
How
was
how do
also-
people evade his webs? Not just
This was also Black Suit Spider-Man, who I think was more.
physical.
This is all just me assuming things that I've heard a long time ago. Yeah, more physical, and I think the symbiote made him stronger. Which I don't even know if he was in it.
This wasn't a symbiote though.
Yeah, because he took
this was
off
just.
I don't know. But I know the Black Suit Spider-Man happened because the symbiote. I don't know if he just kept it for a while.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. But
Yeah.
yeah. How did you, or what were your like overall thoughts?
I thought it was good. Like you, I was expecting more dangerous game
Yeah,
of Kraven hunting Spider-Man.
yeah,
And-
throughout New York City.
Right, and it ended up. It was quick.
Mhm.
Spider-Man just got. He felt he had a spider sense,
Mm.
and then darts start flying at him. Kraven hits him
Yeah.
with one. He chases Kraven across a few buildings, and then Kraven's like, "All right, I win,"
Yeah.
and pulls out a fucking rifle and just shoots him. Well, captures him with the net, then just
Yeah.
fucking shoots him with a rifle.
But didn't he come back? I thought he was just poisoned because he
It
eventually
was
woke
ended
up.
up being poison, but
Yeah.
at the time
You
you're
thought
sitting
he
there. At the
just-
time
yeah.
you're sitting there going, "Holy fuck,
Yeah.
Kraven's not gonna toy with him. He is.
No, it's just
He's gonna end it.
Yeah.
He's done. He's ready to move on." And that was not where I thought it was gonna go to. I was
Yeah.
expecting his last hunt to be some glory of
you thought
the
he was gonna
chase.
like
Like-
take
like-
him to like Africa or something.
yeah,
like that.
like the glory of the chase,
Yeah.
and ended up being he was trying to just more.
Prove that he was the most superior. I don't know, superiorest man or something like that.
That part kind of got a little odd to me because he was talking about being more superior than Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and he's going. He captures Spider-Man, buries him, then adopts his suit, and
Yeah,
goes to fight
to
people.
prove that he could be more superior.
Right, and
Which
he fights the only person that apparently Spider-Man couldn't
Couldn't defeat
beat
on his
alone
own.
because he helped Cap helped him to catch Vermin,
Yeah.
and then he wins. But at the end, he's Craven saying, "Well, to Spider-Man that Spider-Man is still the more superior.
Yeah.
Even though Kraven...
He eventually realized, he's like, this entire time I thought he was just the spider. And what I didn't realize was like,
he's a man in
the
a
man
spider.
underneath is more important than
Gotcha.
his powers
Okay.
or abilities.
All right. That makes a lot of
Which
sense.
they kind of set up with where at the very beginning where he's like going to a guy who he put in jail, but was like his informant. And I guess
and he
you
goes,
see him enough, you become friendly with anybody.
Yeah, and then he puts the
goes to his
money
funeral.
in his in the pot so he can have a proper burial, and that was cool, and that was kind of the Spider-Man that you think of is the the friendly neighborhood spider of the nice guy. He's going to do what he can to make everybody feel better or have a better life, I guess.
What Spider-Man always did better than any other comic, superhero wise, was it was really about the man in the costume, not the costume with the powers.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. And so him and Mary Jane, and also he's much older. He's not your...
Yeah, no, he's like, I think out of college at this point.
Yeah, he's not your high school Spider-Man. Yeah. So he is, he's married to Mary Jane. Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem like it's been very long.
No, I think they just got married.
Yeah, very
she was
recently.
About to move into his place.
Yeah, because they were talking about a honeymoon and all that.
Oh my gosh, I have to find it. When she went out looking for him in the rain, and those two guys trying to catcall her, was the funniest
my God.
line I have ever heard.
Oh God, I didn't write it down.
I wrote it down. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Where is it?
It was something about... Okay,
got it. The dude went, "Hey, tight pants, come show me your red hair." The dumbest shit I've ever heard. Now, if we haven't mentioned it before, me and Davis played Division III football in Birmingham, and there's a movie that came out probably either right before we went to college, but we watched it a million times in college, called D3 Football's Finest.
It was perfect. It literally...
And there's a line in there of, like, it's just like some, not throwaway moment, but it's like, this guy was in the background sitting in a truck, and two girls walk by. They're not like smoking hot or anything. And he said, "Hey, two girls wearing jeans." And that just gave me those vibes, and I cried laughing.
But Mary Jane, but going back to that, it's like Mary Jane is so, I guess, protective, or wants to be protective of Peter and Spider-Man, that she's, I mean, what, it's been like 2 weeks
since they've been married?
No, that he's been missing. When she started going looking for him, it would been
like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, okay. It hadn't been terribly long, but she figured she was going to find him in a ditch or in a alley. And
that's something I felt like they could have expanded on. What it's like to actually be married to a superhero. Yeah. If they don't come home, you have to assume the worst.
Yeah. And that's kind of where they went with her. It was like, all right, I guess I got to go find his body. Yeah. Like, somebody's thrown him in a dumpster, and I got to go find it. The guy, all right, so she gets away from those guys because Kraven Spider-Man beats the shit out of him. Yeah. And she realizes that that's not Peter.
Yeah. And then she goes and tries to talk to a couple of different people.
Yeah, the older man that she goes and talks to, I don't remember his name.
Lord.
But he works with he
works at the Bugle.
The Bugle. Yeah. But she made it sound like he was the head of the Bugle, like J. Jonah Jameson was.
You remember the Sam Raimi, like, early 2000s Spider-Man?
McGuire. Yeah, there you go.
You know I think that's, like, I don't remember the actor's name, but the black guy that's always in the office with J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's like the editor.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. Because I was like, outside of J. Jonah, I wouldn't have known anybody. I don't know anybody that works in the Bugle except for Peter and J. Jonah.
And Eddie Brock.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, he got fired. So.
Yeah. But, and then shit hits the fan. But yeah, and then he just kind of, was she being dismissive, or was...
If I'm that guy, I'm like, the fuck are you doing? I mean, obviously you're here because Peter's missing, but you acting like you want to tell me something, but you're not.
Right.
And then you just leave.
You're right. And
I'd be like, white bitches.
But I don't know. I liked it where it was starting with her trying to go and find Peter, but then it was kind of like, oh, I can't actually talk to people about this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say Spider-Man's missing.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know? Well, my husband is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's like, I get where they were going with it about like she's trying to find her husband, but she can't actually get help.
Yeah.
And that was kind of hard. And then Vermin, how about him just snatching people down grates?
Yeah,
and
that was wild.
Now, as I said, there wasn't any body parts or blood. And then I just remembered, like, the first girl he snatches, there's literally boots and a leg, and and he's just eating her. And I'm like, wow, did not see that coming. Yeah.
And then, how about they made like no buts about it? Like Kraven just committed suicide. He was ready to be done.
Ooh.
Which, if I could be in that good a shape at 75, I wouldn't be ending it.
Man, I believed him when he was talking about, all right, this is it. I'm done.
Yeah.
You are better.
Nothing left to prove.
You are the best that I could go after. And then I figured he was just going to bury his rifle, just kind of a ceremonial.
Well, he also, after beating the shit out of like everybody in New York City, I guess he could have framed Spider-Man, but then he sent in his confession.
He sent everything.
He said, I set the serial killer free, and then I caught him and beat him, and then I framed Spider-Man and was acting extremely violent. And so it was either I got to kill myself right now, or else I'm probably going to jail.
That is true. Or be hunted like he hunts everybody else.
And that would have been a wild spin-off.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the just straight up suicide coming. I figured he'd go on the run.
Heard about it, but me is like, if I'm going to kill myself, I'm not going to shoot myself. I'm going to poison myself.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I would have gone out in a blaze of glory. I would have gone for the full on cop riot, cop fight, something like that.
But that wasn't Kraven's whole
deal.
That
is true. Though. That is true. But neither was suicide to me. I don't know.
Well, he talked about kind of like old man yelling at cows, like, this is what people see as class, but I had to go to the jungle to learn class and stuff like that.
Oh, that's true, because
he
talked about that a lot, about how his parents were kicked out of Russia because of the Trotskys, the Lenins, and I'm sitting there going, and it's being a 1980s comic, I'm sitting there going, oh shit, this is straight out. He would have been in the 60s, he would have been a child during the 60s, or the
he was
50,
75.
50, yeah, he would have been.
And it was written in 87, so...
Oh, no, so he would have really been... He would have been born in like 19...
He would have been like a teenager during World War II.
Wow. So yeah, the Lenins would have... Stalins and Lenins, yeah. That was kind of crazy. And then about how he always kept blaming Spider-Man for the way the world was. Or was he using Spider-Man as the figurehead for
this is what the world has come to, is he's what everybody looks up to.
Okay.
When I should be, because I'm superior.
Okay.
That's what I got. But, we're getting close to time. So, any final thoughts, or?
I enjoyed it. Really want to go back and read the lead up to this.
Yeah. Same.
Definitely need to. Definitely want to. But, there was a lot going on, but then again, you get done reading it and you're like, there wasn't a whole lot in it to me.
Yeah. We also went in expecting a completely different story.
That is true. I was expecting a much broader, action-packed story, and then came out with a very well written, very well done story. Just not.
It was a very grand finale for a villain that we did not read anything beforehand.
True. Now, does Kraven have his own comics? Has he ever had his own comics?
It would not surprise me, but I could not tell you off the top of my head.
That's just one of those. It's one of Spider-Man's biggest villains, but then again, neither does Doc Ock. None of those guys have their own comics that I know of.
Doc Ock had this run where he switched bodies with Peter Parker in the same kind of vein. It was called Superior Spider-Man, where he thought he was superior. Yeah. But it was pretty good. But other than that, I don't think so.
Okay.
Marvel tend to tends not to do what DC does with a Joker of
And just
like
give
everybody.
him, yeah. Where now Harley has her own, Joker's got his own,
Harley's
Ivy,
coming to her own right though.
and they are changing her up a bit. But
Yeah.
so, besides that, for this to have been written in 1987, still the drawings and
Yeah.
illustration. I didn't much care for the way they did the text bubbles. Where at one time Spider-Man was talking, and he had his own double text, and they were in squares, they were in rectangles.
Oh, where it was like his thoughts instead.
Well, it was his thoughts, but sometimes Kraven was talking to Spider-Man,
Yeah,
and you
they
didn't know if they were
color-coded-
actually talking to
there were
Spider-Man
a couple
or
panels where it was like color coded, where you heard Vermin, Kraven, and Spider-Man's thoughts, and it was
right.
just-
And
you had to keep up with what
But-
color was who.
but you had them literally face to face, and I thought they were.
Yeah.
That was a lot. There was a lot of thought bubbles and thought text
Mhm.
instead of actual
Yeah.
talking to each other, and that I had to go back a few times and match up
Yeah.
person because they didn't keep the same colors.
I think Kraven was always orange,
I guess a
Vermin
shade of
was-
orange. Vermin
yeah,
was like a shade
green.
of yeah.
and then Spider-Man was yellow, which you would think that would be easy to just
Which
make them blue.
and I think I kept getting that mixed up with Kraven's orange. Is that
Oh, okay.
because I kept when they swapped over to Spider-Man being yellow, sometimes then he'd have a red, which made sense.
Yeah.
But when they swapped the yellows back and forth, I got a little lost in there sometimes, and I had to go back and so that's my biggest critique of it is just the transition of talking of who is talking at a certain time
Mhm.
could have been a lot smoother.
Yeah. But yeah, so next week is
Episode 10,
Episode 10.
Batman crossover with the
Oh,
Teenage Mutant
yes.
Ninja Turtles.
that is a good book.
Yeah.
So yeah, Batman and Ninja Turtles next week,
Yeah.
and I guess we'll see y'all.
All right. Bye.
Bye.